Hello and welcome to Tech for Non-Techies, the only podcast that demystifies the fast-growing technology sector. I'm your host, Sophia Matveeva, Chicago-based MBA and tech entrepreneur. My aim here is to give you the skills, knowledge and confidence to find opportunities in the tech sector, whether that's through founding a company, getting a dream job, or bringing a fresh perspective to your work. Hello, smart people. How are you all today? I want to tell you about a conversation that I had literally this weekend that made me laugh, and I think it might dispel some myths and be useful learning for you. But before I do have a favor to ask you. If you've been listening to this podcast for a while and haven't yet given it a rating and a review, please do so now. It really does help me to spread this learning content, and it helps other smart people like you to discover this free learning content. So it's basically a wonderful thing to do. So literally press pause, rate and review this podcast, and then come back to listening. Okay, now you're back. Let's get on with the episode. So I'm currently working on an initiative in my business which might or might not work out. And it requires some experimentation on both the technology side and on the business side. This is both exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time. It's exciting because the thought of succeeding in something I have never done before feels great. When I think, wow, this really could work out, I get this warm glow and my mind runs away into fun daydreaming. But the other side of this is that it's also distinctly possible that it won't work out. This means that instead of just sitting there and panicking, I have to mitigate the risk. I have to make sure that I'm not putting all of my time and all of my energy and all of my money into it, but I have to work out when is enough, because I need to put in enough money, time and energy to give this initiative a chance of success. And, this is more art than science, but I've already had some experience of things working out and not working out. So I feel relatively comfortable, but it's still a learning curve. So this weekend, I was having a chat with my tech lead about this initiative, and we were working out what steps to take next, what success would look like for us, and what signs we should look out for to tell us that we should pull the plug. And at one point, I said, look, I've got no idea. I've never done this before. I don't know what I'm doing. And he said, neither have I. I don't know either. And I was like, all right, so neither of us know what we're doing, but we're just going to go ahead anyway. Well, that sounds about right. That is the way we do things around here. And we both had a laugh. And it was actually a really nice, warm, lovely moment. And the reason I'm telling you about this is that me and this guy, we've worked together for 5 years now. And we've co-created apps and sites and algorithms that have been used by thousands of people. We've had brilliant reviews. We've been in the press. Investors have backed this vision based on the success of our product. So to the outside world, it might look like we have everything figured out and that we just have this brilliant plan for the next 5 years. And that's not true. This conversation, which is basically, I don't know what I'm doing, what do you think, has been taking place for years. Most of the time, we do not see a solution the moment we pose the question. That's just how it works. In business, in technology, and in life. In general, with many ups and downs, the way becomes clear once you do stuff. Some initiatives have to be killed off, others worked out. This is just the way of life. It's also, can be a repeatable lesson for dating. Anyway, let's not digress. My point is, you don't need to have a detailed plan about how you're going to get from A to Z. You don't need to know exactly how a product will be built, what the features will look like in a year, or to have a perfect career path mapped out to get you to where you want to be, which, given you're listening to this, might be some kind of domination of the tech world. You do need to know how to work with the right people, though, so you can find the way together, or so you can instruct them properly so they can help you to find the way. By the way, I don't know if you can hear seagulls, but I'm in the south of France and I'm literally by the sea, and the seagulls here are enormous and very loud. So, episode. What are we talking about today? We are talking about being the CEO of a tech business. Even if that's not what you want to do, for example, if you just want to invest in tech businesses, you're going to have to deal with the CEO. So this is going to be useful for you. So listen. When I was at business school in Chicago, we were taught to think of ourselves as future global leaders. There was a bunch of stuff that I was forced to learn there that I don't think was particularly useful, but this mindset is incredibly useful and it's serving me to this day. If nothing else, thinking of yourself as a future global leader means that you're basically more likely to become one. And to get us into this mindset, we were constantly shown examples of people from the University of Chicago who had done something incredible to inspire us. So the fact that Barack Obama used to teach there before he went into politics certainly helped. But so did seeing people who were in the C-suite at impressive companies or running really cool startups. One of the people who came to speak to us was somebody called David Wells. And David Wells was the CFO of Netflix for around 14 years. And honestly, I don't know about you, but I just have this ridiculous, irrational love of Netflix. They have literally saved me from insanity during this pandemic. Netflix is my friend. Is that sad? I don't know. But anyway, I'm telling lots of people about it. I friggin' love Netflix. So I asked David Wells what a chief financial officer actually does at a big tech company. And he said that one of the biggest things was to make decisions with his colleagues who had different experiences and different points of view. That's essentially one of the biggest responsibilities of somebody in the C-suite. So this meant that when the Netflix executive team meets to discuss a problem, the CFO brings solutions from their side, the chief marketing officer would have a different point of view, the CTO yet another, etc., etc. The person in charge, and in the case of Netflix, that's Reed Hastings, the person in charge has to take in all of those points of view and come to a decision. So, you might be listening to this and you're thinking, well, I don't run Netflix. I don't even work at Netflix. Why am I listening to this? So whether you're leading Netflix or a tiny startup, the skill you're going to use here is similar. You're working with people to help you achieve your goals. Those people are going to have different talents and skills to you, which is precisely why you hired them. Those people are likely to include an accountant, a marketer, a lawyer, and a technology lead. In a big company where you're the CEO and supreme leader, you would have a CFO, so that's a chief financial officer, CMO, chief marketing officer, chief legal officer, and chief technology officer. But even for a tiny business, you will hire people for those roles as freelancers or as part-time consultants, or you would outsource your product development. But essentially, those people are going to be involved in some shape or form. And to work with them effectively, you don't need to micromanage them and know exactly how they solve problems in your business. You do not need to go to law school to work with a lawyer. And you don't need to get an accounting qualification to hire an accountant, which is wonderful because honestly, at business school, accounting was my least favorite class. But with any professional, you need to know why you're hiring them. And you need to know what success looks like for you. As the boss, your job is to start with the outcome you want and ask the people in your team to help you get there. They can only help you effectively if you tell them what you want. So no telepathy, but you also have to be clear. So don't just say, we're building a multi-billion-dollar business and we want massive growth. I mean, that is airy. That's nothing really. And don't say things like, we want to go viral. Why do you want to go viral? I'm assuming that's going to make you some money at some point somehow. So you need to set clear goals. And those examples that I just gave, they're not clear goals and they will make everyone confused. You need to have clarity in your business aim and then relate that to the products that you create. And that's the basic job of a product manager. At a high level, it is also the job of the CEO. That's why learning the basics of how tech products get made is so useful if you want to get the top job in the future. Your job is to learn to ask the right questions when you are in that top job. So ask the right questions and set clear aims. And then work with people who help you get there. So work with your CTO or work with your tech lead. And as I gave my example from literally this weekend, that person, your tech lead, might not have the answer straight away, but asking the right questions will set them on the right track to finding the answer. But you have to set the right questions. You can use technology and data to answer all sorts of business questions. So here are some examples. Where shall we drill for oil? That's something that BP might ask. Or, should we make more lipstick? That's something that L'Oreal might ask. Or, how should we price our product? I mean, everybody's wondering this. It's interesting that some products sell more when you actually increase prices, which is, against classical economics. Also, every company is interested in finding out who are our most profitable customers. And literally, technology and data can give you those answers, but you have to ask the friggin' question to get the answer. In all of these questions, the aim is to make the business better and not to build tech tools. For example, having a fork isn't very useful unless you have food or, something that you want to move from A to B. It is the same with technology. Don't just build stuff for the sake of it. You're building things or you're buying things in order to make your business better. Here are some questions that you can think about that will help you achieve things in your business and then link that to technology. Once you know the outcome you want, you can ask your tech lead to help you get there. So, for example, what technology can help us achieve that outcome? Like selling more lipstick. What technology can help us to achieve that outcome? Do we need to build that technology? Can we buy it? Can we rent it? Can we connect to it via an API? If you don't know what an API is, literally just a few episodes ago, I gave a quick explanation of what APIs are. Also, data. Lots of companies hold lots and lots of data. Storing data costs money. So you need to think about why that data is going to be useful for you. What data do we already have to achieve the outcome we want? So, for example, if your aim is to find out where to drill for oil, you're going to need to have some seismic data. Do you already have it? Can you buy it from somewhere? What data do you need? Can you collect that data yourselves? Can you get it for free elsewhere? So, for example, in the episode with J.S. Kung, who built an AI fintech business as a non-technical founder, he built his first ever algorithm using a spreadsheet, and he got some data on lending behavior from the lending club for free. So there is free data available to test some hypotheses. By asking questions like this, you are setting a business outcome and then you're working with your tech lead to reach it. For this, you need to know the basics of how tech products get built and who does what on a product team. But you don't need to build them yourself, which is what I keep on saying on this podcast. So basically, my smart people, that is your recipe for world domination. I think it's quite interesting. Asking questions and working with smart people to find answers. Kind of a good way to approach life, I think. It's asking questions. It's not necessarily knowing the answer straight away. So if this floats your boat and you want more, then come and join us as a member at Tech for Non-Techies. Our membership is your best friend in tech. Every week, we have live sessions and masterclasses where you can get your questions and get feedback on whatever you're working on. You also get monthly member meetups, Q&A with me, and learning notes on key aspects of technology like AI, product management, and the app economy. Literally, what is not to like? So that's it for now, smart people. We've learned a lot today. Well done. I love you all. And I'll speak to you next week. Ciao.